The role of the product manager, just like in the private sector, I'd say, is to help teams to set a vision, a strategy, and a mission for the product or the service they're responsible for. So they are ultimately accountable for the success of their product. And it's really important that the product manager sets a clear vision, an inspirational vision for their teams, which fits with the overall ambitions of the organization or the company. And the product manager's role is to essentially translate the organization's vision or ambitions into tangible product development work or tangible mission that a team or a set of teams can achieve. And it's the role of the product manager, as I was saying, is also to be the kind of user advocate, to understand what are we trying to achieve as a product or as a service, and how can we get there. What is interesting in the public sector is that we have a very strong mission, and it's a mission is basically something that is a bit bigger than just the user needs or delivering on commercial goals, but it's actually about solving larger social or environmental or big problems. Once you have a clear vision or mission for what you're trying to achieve over a certain period of time, let's say a quarter or two, or longer, of course, you can then break that down into specific objectives and key results. And those objectives and key results can build into a tangible roadmap with specific milestones over a certain time frame, with specific deliverables as well, and with various work streams or objectives that your teams are trying to achieve as part of that. So the first rule is like it's a team sport. The second rule on roadmaps for me is that they should be kind of smart, so specific, measurable, actionable, and time bound, realistic and time bound. This is very much like a thing that when you do like personal objectives, you need them to be smart. The third like important rule that I have, or it's not a rule but like a thing that should happen with roadmaps, is if you have one mission that's overarching and that doesn't really change, that's your direction, that's your vision, that's where you want to be. The roadmap should be, however, flexible and iterated continuously. It's no good creating a roadmap at the start of a project and leaving it and never like iterating it, or as you learn continuously about your users and your product and your development, or as things happen, that you don't change that roadmap and reprioritize to reflect the changing circumstances. I like to update my roadmap at least once every quarter, if not more often, or when there are important changes or milestones as a result of a business direction change or something else. So ultimately, a roadmap is a communication tool. So you have different audiences. One is your team, because it helps them to follow and understand if they're on track and kind of how the current work in the backlog fits with the wider time horizon and the overall product. So definitely, they have to be part of the creation and updating process. You also have your senior stakeholders. So usually that's kind of the top level in the business, who essentially are the budget holders and kind of give you the permission and the money to go ahead and build a product, and who ultimately want the results, and are accountable for the kind of company. And for them, the roadmaps is a good way to share your progress and development, and also it's a good way for them to kind of feed into the very high level strategy, how that fits with the specific products or with the product teams you're responsible for, and as a company as well, having a product roadmap overall. How does that fit with implementation? Other audiences that I also think are important, often overlooked, because you think our roadmap is just about like closed doors, ways of working, whatever. It's for us to help us build a good thing, a good product or a good service. But actually, your end users or customers can be consumers of the roadmap. And making your roadmap public is great, especially in a B2B setting. It allows your customers to like plan around you in their releases or in their work. And many companies nowadays have a public organizations as well have a public roadmap, and that's really helps to kind of understand what's coming up and how that would impact the end users. So one with more detail, which is for your team, one with just the high level things, which is for your top level kind of CEO, and one which is more about features or the cool things, which is for your end users or your customers. Um, and it's also good to make your roadmaps visual and easy to understand. If you have a physical space like in an office, it's great to put them on the wall, a version of your roadmap, and as well as have a virtual roadmap or several cuts of it that everyone knows about and can access. So it's not good if you only you have the link to that roadmap and no one else knows it exists.